Plyometrics are one of those elements of training that's crucial for our sprinters. And what the ultimate goal of plyos are is to decrease the amount of time that it takes for the muscle to lengthen and then shorten, but also increase the amount of elastic energy that we can store and release during that period of time. That's what the goal of plyos are. Sprinting in and of itself is a plyometric activity. But the important thing to remember with plyos is that it has to be eccentric, concentric. You can't start in one position and drive out. What we're trying to teach athletes to do in large part with our plyos is get triple extension, right? To get that foot down to the ground and get to the point where we are driving through and locking through the hips. That's what we're trying to teach. So whether we're using medicine ball throws, multi-throws and trying to teach that, or hopping and bounding drills, regardless of the method we use to teach that skill, and that triple extension is crucial. We're doing it in the weight room. We're doing it with our plyos, with our speed work, coming out of blocks, everything that in our jumps. That is what we were trying to teach primarily, because that hip extension, as I've said before, is the most powerful force that the human body can create. And because kids are not that coordinated, anything that we can do to increase the ability to be explosive through the hips, that's what we're going to try to do. So there's basically two ways that I do it, and the two ways that you can do it. The first that we'll cover is through the use of medicine ball throws or multi-throws. And momentarily we'll go look at the exercise that you can use for that. I will use these exercises especially early if I have younger athletes who I don't think have the physical ability or the coordination or strength and power to handle bounding and hopping plyos. We'll do medicine ball throws. This is a good opportunity, for example, if you coach in a cold weather environment in the wintertime and you're training in high school hallways and you have concrete floors. Of course, you're not going to have your sprinters doing single leg plyos or alternate leg bounds down a concrete hallway. That would be crazy. So instead, if you have gym time, you can use these medicine ball throws, either throw them the length of the gym or throw them against the wall. That's going to help you get that extension. Another thing that I've been experimenting with is using medicine ball throws as the primary means of developing strength and power for my 400, 800 types and my non-jumping sprinters. Oftentimes, if we have non-jumping sprinters, these bounding plyos may not be the best way or the best means of developing that skill. And so from a coordination standpoint, we will kind of scale back the intensity by using med ball throws and have those athletes do that, and then have the sprinter jumper types do more of the hopping and bounding drills. But the first series of exercises I want to show you is the med ball throws, some of the basic exercises that you can use for testing purposes, for one, especially early in the season, but also as part of your power development program with your sprinters. The important thing to remember before we go into this, and the fundamental thing I think with medicine ball throws, is that you have to cue your athletes and explain and teach your athletes that they're trying to use their legs to move the medicine ball and their arms are just a guide. What you'll see early on when you start having your sprinters do medicine ball throws is that they will throw the ball, or throw the weight with their arms, whether you're doing overhead back or between legs front, whatever it happens to be. They're going to throw the ball with their arms as opposed to using their legs. It's the same problem that we see with athletes, say, doing cleans in the weight room improperly. They're using their upper body and trying to heave and throw the weight with their arms as opposed to using their legs to move the weight in a clean. Same thing with medicine ball throws. You'll see athletes, say you're going to do an overhead back, they'll come back this way and throw the medicine ball with their weight. Instead, we want to drive through the hips and have a good flow of energy and momentum and throw that ball, or guide the ball with our arms, throw the ball with our legs. And so from a coordination standpoint or a skill development standpoint, that's the first problem that you're going to see. So be sure to remind kids to cue that. And of course, you also want to see athletes get extension through the hips, which again can be difficult depending on the exercise that you're doing, or if you add, as you'll see, some of the more complicated components, hopping forward, throwing the medicine ball back, or you can double hop, you can do whatever you want. But we have to focus on making sure athletes get extension through the hips. Medicine ball throws are a good exercise to use in order to help develop this skill. And again, like any plyos, I'm going to do these after my speed work, probably before my weight room, in order to develop the speed and power.